Hey guys, Island Turtle here. Welcome to BOMISpirit. This is the weekly intuitive astrology reading for July 24th to the 30th. Hello. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and comment. And of course, we have social media, websites, all that stuff is listed below for your convenience. Now, for those of you who are new, just let you guys know how this goes. I'm going to go over the astrology of the week, give you my 2 cents on it. By no means is astrology a die-hard black and white, this will happen, this will not happen sort of deal. It's just energy that we're all dealing with, we're all exposed to, and we all use in different ways or adapt to in different ways. So it can manifest very differently in your life depending on what's going on with you, what's going on in your chart, etc., etc., etc. Free will is at the center of all that, right? You always got choices. You always got choices. Excuse me. And then I'm going to go ahead and do some channeled messages and cards for the collective and for element groups as well. Earth, air, fire, and water. Timestamps should be there. You should see that this is timestamped. Okay? All right, excuse me. Let's go ahead and get started. So this is a week that I feel like I've been talking about for a long time. This week and even the week that we're closing out. Because this week starts on the 24th of July, right? So by this point, Venus will officially be in its retrograde phase in Leo. Also, by this point, we will already have had the 23rd pass, which the 23rd is actually when we have the first peak day of Pluto square the North Node, which is now in Aries. Also another huge change that's happened, right? Excuse me. As I got started, my throat started going like close, 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 close. Interesting. We'll push through that. Anyway, Pluto square the North Node is peaking at this time, but it's been present since March and will be in this square until November. November is when that square is going to pair out as far as energy is concerned, as the North Node moves on and as Pluto moves on. But this week we have 2 more dates where that aspect is peaking, the 25th and the 28th, when again Pluto is peaking with the square to the North Node. Okay, now we also have Mercury shifting into Virgo on the 28th of July as well. It's going to be there for a little bit because it's going to retrograde in Virgo, actually. And I don't remember the dates off the top of my head. I'd have to look at them. But I'm pretty sure the pre-shadow starts, I want to say early mid-August is when the pre-shadow starts for that retrograde phase. So just know that that's something that's going to be coming up for you guys, okay? So astrologically, those are the big transits that are happening. Now, as far as aspects, has it started already? It's like I can't talk. As far as aspects that I would pay attention to, now there's some aspects that we've had for a long time that I will touch on, but I won't spend a lot of time on them because those of you who've been with me for a long time or have watched me for a while, you are already privy to them. So just out of courtesy for the new people, I will go over them, just not extensively. But the 3 most important aspects that I think are worth paying attention to is the square between the North Node and Pluto. We also have Mercury conjunct Venus. We also have Mars trine Jupiter. These are definitely the 3 most important aspects this week. Do I want to get in that North Node energy right now? Let's briefly touch on Mars first. Let's touch on Mars. So Mars is in Virgo right now and is going to be trine Jupiter in Taurus this week. This aspect is strongest on August 1st, actually, so the following week, so it's building this week, which is great. When you have Jupiter in a trine with anything, it's normally pretty positive because Jupiter is expansive. Jupiter is also optimistic. Jupiter also likes to bring a little bit of luck and support and positive energy, actually, for anybody who's touching Jupiter, working with Jupiter. But Mars trine Jupiter in this way tends to make it a little easier to get things done. Like if you've been really focused on things or wanted to be focused on something where it requires your attention, your focus, your investment of time, energy, money, requires it to be on top of like your discipline or how you work, especially with them being in earth signs, this could definitely pertain to your actual work environment, especially if those are in any houses for you that are related to career, like 10th house, 6th house, etc. But it's very positive for just getting anything done and doing it very successfully. Now, if you're, if you are finding yourself in opportunities or situations that could potentially lead to wealth, this is a good time to really make those a priority with this aspect at play. It's also a really good aspect for taking risks. If you feel like you've been needing to take some risks or you're being challenged to, or you're like, oh, I could go for that, but like, oh God, what if I fail? This is a time to take the leap, so to speak. So very, very positive aspect to have. Now, there are some other aspects that are affecting this as well. But this is the main aspect in this little cluster that I'm talking about. Mars trine Jupiter. Now, some other aspects that affect this. Orcus. Orcus is a dwarf planet, which is in Virgo at 13 degrees. It's very similar to Pluto, is also trine Jupiter. And because it's also trine Jupiter, it is working with Mars. It's more closely working with Jupiter than Mars, just because of where the degrees land. But Orcus is in the game. Orcus is in the game. Orcus is, like I said, very Plutonian, right? So it touches on the darker things. It touches on secrets and corruption, and mostly how it actually differs from Pluto is it seeks out vengeance. That's not exactly what Pluto does, right? Pluto's like, we're going to reveal things, we're going to make changes, but Pluto's not exactly in that realm of, punish the guilty or punish the wrongdoers. That's definitely more Orcus's job. But Orcus also rules healing, also rules like different healing modalities like Reiki, for example, or sacred geometry, does also rule studies as well. So with it being in Virgo, it's actually really nice placement for that. And with it also supporting Mars with Jupiter, it's actually really helping to keep things in line, to help keep like a karmic balance to things, so to speak. So if you are doing anything with the intention of, hey, I just want to help people, or the intention of, I just want to do some good in the world, right? If you're leaning more towards that, Orcus is going to help you here. Now, if you are a little bit more on the other side, like, want to take that person down, I'm not going to say Orcus is going to, like, help you do that. It's more like Orcus will be like, let's make sure this person knows why we don't do these kinds of things. Like, that's kind of the effect Orcus would have on you if you're in that kind of vibe. But anyway, moving on. Mars is also working with Pallas Athena in Virgo, which is also really nice, because when you have Mars and Pallas Athena working together, especially both in Virgo, it is about doing things the right way, like doing things in the most efficient way to get the job done to completion. So again, really helping this whole ambitious, I want to do, I want to progress, I want to advance, I want to attain sort of energy that Mars and Jupiter are giving us right now. Something to pay attention to, though, Mars is also opposing Saturn and is square Vesta. I don't think it's a big concern because what else we have going on with Mars. It's just a little funky, right? Because Mars opposing Saturn brings these authoritative issues, like literally having issues with authority or feeling a little bit more triggered or upset at like the little hint that someone might be dominating us or having control over us or exerting their own power and authority. So it can lead to conflict, but it was stronger this last week than this week. Like, this is a week where it's like really pittering out. So again, I wouldn't worry about that. Sorry for all the burping. It's just what happens when energy moves through me. Sorry. All right, moving on. So that's Mars working with Jupiter and everything that's surrounding it. Now let's talk about Venus working with Mercury. I like this. I think we all will like this. When Venus and Mercury work together, it creates this very charismatic energy. Like, it's easier to talk to people, it's easier to go and have fun with people, meet people, socialize, negotiate even. And the fact that they're both in Leo, even though Mercury shifts to Virgo, I think on the 27th, the 28th. Yeah, on the 28th, Mercury shifts into Virgo. But while it's in those late degrees with Leo and working with Venus, it's really great to do anything social, honestly. Or if you've like had your eye on somebody, like this is also, hold on, let me put this on Do Not Disturb. My bad. All right. Mercury working with Venus, right, in a conjunction like this, also tends to bring about more heartfelt conversations and communications, especially being in Leo. So great time to hang out with friends, great time to hang out with the person you're crushing on or ask them out on a date, especially with Mars also trine Jupiter. Risks will pay off. And it's interesting too, because Mars also has that sexual energy and Jupiter likes to play off of that too. So, and like, I don't want to say sexual conquest, that sounds like a weird phrase, but I know it's a phrase. So if you like have had your eye on someone or you got the hots for someone, this is a week to take the risk to ask them out or take them to bed. I don't know. Your business, not mine. Most likely will pay off. If it's meant to happen, and if they're not into you, they're not into you, but luck is on your side is all that I'm getting at. Luck is on your side, confidence and charisma is on your side, being more attractive to people is also going to be a thing for all of us too. So get out there and mingle and talk and do your thing, okay? I just heard mixed business with pleasure. Meh, I don't know about that. Anyway, moving on. So something else that relates to Venus and Mercury working together, we actually have quite a bit here. So the North Node square Pluto actually plays a factor into this. So the North Node is square Pluto, but the North Node is also trine Venus, which means it's also trine Mercury. Right. Eris also plays a role in this as well. You can think of Eris as like literally the sister of Aries. She's kind of looked at as the goddess of discord. I don't know. I feel like there's some kind of distortion and misunderstanding there because when I tap into her, I don't feel discord and chaos. I don't feel that. I just feel more like feminine warrior, a little bit of feminine rage. Definitely this feeling of leader as well, and an independent streak is kind of what I feel energetically when I tap into Eris. And Eris is in Aries currently at 25 degrees, and I do believe is also retrograding. But coming back to what all this means, right? So Eris is actually working with the North Node. They're both at Aries, late degrees. The North Node is going to move from 29 to 28 degrees by the end of the week. And like I said, Eris is at 25, right? So they're supporting each other. And while they're supporting each other, they're both square Pluto, and they're both trine Venus, and they're both trine Mercury. Right, so you see what I'm getting at here. To me, this just creates not a storm. That's not the right word. It's not a storm. It creates these intense feelings, these really intense feelings around changes that are out of our control, but also these really intense feelings that are actually leading to, for some of us, a really big internal shift of self, of identity. Who am I? What do I want? What am I doing? I need to focus on me. I need to break away. I need to be more independent. It's that Aries energy coming up and out, right? We're getting our sea legs, so to speak, with the North Node now being in Aries. We're all under a different lesson collectively, so to speak. That's how I look at the nodes. Like when the nodes switch, it's a sign of collectively what are we going to be facing together as far as lessons are concerned. Like what do we need to learn about in the realm of Aries? What needs to evolve in the realm of Aries as we move away from Libra? And that is about the self, our own uniqueness, our own gifts. What do we bring to the table? What can we do on our own? Who we are as people, who we are in the world, that sort of stuff, right? And so that's playing into all of this North Node square Pluto energy. Now the square to Pluto brings about big changes that are out of our hands. Sometimes can make us feel like we're out of control, especially for anybody who deals with control issues. You're going to be really confronted with that. Now, something that I was feeling as I was making my notes, because I also do like channeled intuitive astrology, right? So as I was making my notes, I was feeling that Pluto energy, and I was feeling this like rising up from the depths, like this could be lost pieces of self. This could be old feelings. This could feel like a liberation and awakening sort of vibe, but that's what I was feeling. Like Pluto's actually digging old stuff up, like from the past in relation to Aries. What's going to challenge you when it comes to these themes of Aries? So again, challenges with identity, challenges with control, challenges with leadership, challenges with asserting the self, challenges with being a unique individual outside of society, relationships, family, collective, work, like the individual identity outside of all other things that we've seen as identity, like these labels, right? So I kind of like that though. Like it felt really good and it felt empowering, even if it might feel prickly or it might feel uncomfortable. Yeah, so just wanted to mention that. Now, because Mercury is working with Venus in this way of like encouraging us to be more open with people, more communicative with people, to mingle more, and even again, take like those risks when it comes to having certain conversations with people, those are going to be opportunities to step into that, right? To step into, here is my unique voice. Here's who I am outside of these labels. And also if you have like some like really deep feelings coming up or intense emotions coming up, to communicate them effectively. So while we have all this energy speaking as to what we've gone over so far, oh damn, I forgot the timestamp. Oh, is it the freaking timestamp? Anyway, I'm sorry. So while we have all this really positive support encouraging us to get shit done, all the Mars energy, right? Being successful with how we're investing our time, how we're progressing on projects or personal goals, right? So we have all of that. And now we have this like call to connect with people, but to do it in a different way, especially when it comes to the self versus others, right? Outside of social norms, outside of expectations, outside of the labels, outside of family values, even. And that's going to come up in a little bit. I'm going to talk about that soon. But those are the big things we have going on this week. Now, coming into the last little cluster of energy. So, this is just what we've already been experiencing, but I just want to say it's been present. Lilith in Leo is still trine Chiron in Aries. That's still very much there. I mean, they're going to start drifting away from each other pretty soon. Lilith is at 22 degrees, Chiron's at 19, and Chiron is also retrograde at this point too. I forgot that. Chiron is now also retrograde. Now Lilith is also square Uranus, which is in Taurus at 22 degrees. So they're very close. That's just a lot of this breaking out of the old people of who we've been, old identity, right? And allowing ourselves to be liberated in our true desires, our true passions, our true wants, our real raw primal nature, our inner animal, so to speak. So I mean, I've been liking that personally. I've been enjoying that, but that's just something we've all been dealing with collectively. Now, something else that is happening this week that's a little new, Juno in Cancer is moving from 18 degrees to 21 degrees this week. Juno is also square Chiron in Aries and is sextile Uranus. This is definitely going to shift relationship dynamics. And because we have all this identity stuff coming up in the context of also relationships, right? And getting out of the box, getting out of these labels, which is also getting out of like self-limiting beliefs and all that stuff too. Now that Juno is also adding to that mix, it really is calling into question what relationship dynamics have been for you so far and how you're showing up differently in them because of this change that we all need to go through collectively as far as the individual, right? But even on your personal level, what have your relationship patterns been like, right? What roles have you played in relationships? How have you approached people emotionally or even just with communication or maybe when there's been conflict? Like, how do you normally handle that? And how is that going to start to change? Maybe it's already started to change, right? But these are huge changes. And this is why I was also saying these changes are massive that we're going through because of the North Node square Pluto, but some of them are purely internal, right? Emotional, how we are in relationships, how we see ourselves. And some of them are very external, right? I mean, we're also talking about Capricorn. We're also talking about Taurus. We're also talking about Aries. That is literally the individual versus society and societal beliefs and economy and money and career. So you could have a lot of changes when it comes to your career, your money situation, your household situation, or maybe you're sick of the country you live in, you want to go bounce and live somewhere else. Like that's also something that's happening a lot around the world. Definitely here that's happening a lot too. So that's what's going down this week. Now, as far as signs and degrees to focus on, it was really hard to just like break this down into like a simple sign and degree range because there is so much going on. But like I said, I would really focus on Mars trine Jupiter, Mercury conjunct Venus, and the North Node in Aries square Pluto Capricorn. Those are by far the most important ones. Now, that's Leo energy, that's Capricorn, that's Aries, that's Virgo, that's Taurus. If you want to break it down even more simply than that, Leo by far is going to be super important. Late degrees Leo, like 25 to 29. If you wanted to expand that, 20 to 29 is what I would look at. God, that Virgo though. That Virgo. I would say Virgo and Taurus 10 to 15 degrees are very important as well. If you had to pick one, guess I'd pick Virgo. If you had to pick one, I guess I'd pick Virgo. Capricorn 25 to 29 degrees. That's just the influence of Pluto, right? So it's like everyone's been going through these lessons in wherever Pluto's been for you, and so that house like hasn't changed much. Like if you've been excuse me. Oh, hold on a second. Oh, it's excuse me, Pluto's been breaking down Capricorn. And yes, it touched Aquarius for a hot minute, and it'll go back to Aquarius not anytime soon. It's going to be a while. I don't think it sits back into Aquarius until like November 2024, something like that. But anyway, Pluto's been breaking down Capricorn for a long time. And however that's been, excuse me, however that's been showing up in your life is not new, okay? It's been breaking down a part of your house, a part of your house, excuse me. It's because I'm distracted from my throat, sorry guys. When Pluto moves into a sign, it breaks it down. It breaks it down so it can rebuild it into something else. We've been going through this Capricorn 2.0 evolution, right? This new idea of what success looks like, this new idea of what ambition, healthy ambition is, healthy work ethic actually is. And then all these changes with government, society, patriarchy, all of that is also tied up into that as well, along with masculinity, actually. Even though Capricorn's technically a feminine sign, it speaks to a lot of patriarchal aspects of life, which are innately masculine in nature. So Capricorn's kind of interesting like that. But we've all been going through that. So that house isn't changing very much. If anything, we're probably closing some stuff out between now and November 2024 when it comes to wherever Pluto has been breaking things down for you in relation to that. I don't know if I felt the need to go on about that. I don't normally speak on that too much. But anyway, so for signs and degrees, Virgo, Taurus, 10 to 15, that's where you're going to get a lot of that getting stuff done, work ethic is on point, achieving goals, heading towards long-lasting success, taking some risks, even if those involve relationship conquest. I don't know why conquest keeps coming up. That's a word that keeps coming up here. That's where you can expect that to go down. Excuse me. Now, Leo, 20 to 29 degrees, 25 to 29 degrees, either way, I mean, you're still going to be in that same house, right? But Leo, that's where we have Mercury, that's where we have Venus. Lilith is also there too, and that is all this like very charismatic social energy, being a social butterfly, letting your primal self out, your sexual side out as well, your passionate side out. Beautiful energy as far as I'm concerned. And then Capricorn is where Pluto is having the influence, right, of the changes that we're going through, the intense feelings that are coming up as far as personal changes and evolution for more independent sense of self, outside of labels and expectations and all that. So that's what I have to say about this week. I feel like I started talking in circles. I apologize about that. Let's go ahead and get into the collective message here. Okay. I feel very distracted for some reason. I don't know why that is. I feel very like ADD right now. Anyway, let's go ahead and pull some cards for the collective. Who are we starting with? I'm hearing relationships and family. Relationships and family. Relationships and family. You know, let's do the star oracle. Hold on a second. If I can get it. This guy. We're going to start with this guy. All the decks that I use are linked below for you guys. So I couldn't get all the cards. Okay, there we go. Yeah, let's do this for the collective. There may be something about this week that also starts to feel fast. I just got a flash of the Eight of Wands. Whoa, as the deck spits at me. Yeah, I just got this Eight of Wands feeling. Something's gonna pick up steam this week. What's gonna pick up steam? Jupiter. I just heard Jupiter. So that's the house. That's gonna be in the house of Taurus for you guys. That's got to be Jupiter playing off of Mars. Yeah, that's got to be Jupiter playing off of Mars. So I would pay really close attention to wherever you have Virgo and Taurus 10 to 15 degrees in your personal houses. And what I mean by that, if you're new, check your chart, look for your rising sign. It'll list all your little houses and everything, okay? Virgo, Taurus, 10 to 15 degrees. Something in those houses is going to pick up steam, is going to take off. And the more you invest in whatever those things are, the faster it's going to go. The more energy, more progression, more momentum, more steam is going to get picked up. Any messages or insights for the collective this week? Relationships are going to be a huge teacher. They just keep saying, they keep bringing up relationships. I want to slow down the energy. It's like the 801's energy. I could feel it. It feels like a cog in a machine, just like going. Slower. Relationships are always a huge teacher. That's just like par for the course of this reality, right? But there's something super big about relationships this week. I feel like it's just the reflection. Like, it's just, relationships will be like the center stage of what is changing within you, like being reflected out. So like, let me think of a cryptic way of speaking to that. Like, if you're finding yourself in social situations or talking to people who've known you, it's going to become very clear in how you're dealing with them, or like how you're speaking to them, how they're reacting to you. It's going to be very clear what changes are really happening and how deep some of these changes really are. I keep getting, it's the shift in social dynamics. It's the shift within relationships that is helping to also reflect more of who you are outside of other people, outside of labels, outside of expectations, outside of titles. It's almost like relationships are a stage this week, so the spotlight can really be on you and your unique sense of self, and how that's shifting, how that's changing, how that's shining brighter. Okay. Any messages or insights for the collective this week? Oh, happy birthday, Lions. Sorry. Happy birthday to my Leos. You guys are having quite the solar return, especially if any of you are going through a Venus return with Venus retrograde. I went through my Mars return during Mars retrograde actually this last year. That was really interesting. But yeah, some of my Leos might, because a lot of Leos, some Leos might potentially have Venus Leo placement. Anyway, moving on. Yeah, people who've known you, jeez. Hold on, sorry guys. We got Mars out here with motion. It's a lot of energy in this week. It's a lot. It's a lot. I can feel it. It's very like speedy. It's very, very fast. People who've known you might be very taken aback by the new energy you're in, but we're all going to be in new energy in some way, shape, or form, but particularly those of you where you're in this new sense of self and it's being expressed more, you're asserting your true sense of self more. People are going to be very taken aback, but Mars is here. We know why Mars is here. There's just a shit ton of energy this week, and a lot of opportunities and situations where we are investing our energy, investing our time, investing our money. That Mars trine Jupiter energy, that's what this is. It makes things move fast. It makes us feel more confident, more optimistic. It makes us more hardworking. It makes us get shit done. It makes us show up. It makes us take the risks that we haven't been ready to take. Very strong masculine principle right now. And like I said, Mars is in Virgo, and Virgo is definitely one of those houses this week that has a lot going on in it. And now that Mercury is going to shift into Virgo, I talk about this in the Venus retrograde series. So again, go watch that if you're curious. I did a collective reading, sign reading, talk, astrology talk. Watch the collective one. I think that's where I talk mostly about this. How with Venus retrograde phase, from when it went to pre-shadow to when the post-shadow ends, from June 19th to October 7th, pre-shadow, retrograde, post-shadow, the most important signs are Leo, Taurus, and Virgo. because, I mean, well, first of all, Virgo season's part of that too, right? Leo to Virgo. But Mars being in Virgo plays a huge role into Venus retrograde. Mercury being in Virgo does as well, especially since it's going through a retrograde phase. Uranus in Taurus does as well. Jupiter in Taurus does as well. So Leo, Taurus, Virgo are the most important signs all the way up through October, okay? But anyway, coming back, Mars is in Virgo. Let me take a minute. Mars in an Earth sign, more so Cappy and Virgo, not necessarily Taurus, because Taurus is like really fixed. Mars doesn't exactly love like super strongly fixed energy. It's a little hard to work efficiently with Mars energy in a fixed sign, even though it rules Scorpio. But anyway, coming back. Mars in Capricorn is exalted, which means that's the best expression of Mars is through the sign of Capricorn. Through the sign of Virgo, it's not exalted per se, but it's still very nicely expressed because we're grounding it into reality and we're using it to get things done, right? So I just felt the need to speak on that. Keep going. Taurus. Taurus will cultivate. Wow, look at the twos. Guys, look at the twos. 2, 2, 2. Some of you guys might have a Mars Taurus placement. And like I said, it's not a bad placement. It's just better in Capricorn, better in Virgo over Taurus. But like I said, the reason Taurus is important is because we have Jupiter and we have Uranus. And we already know Mars in Virgo is trying Jupiter in Taurus. Having all that earthy energy in that aspect too is really nice because it's really going to help shape our health, our wealth, our personal foundations, our work, our household, our physical reality is getting a nice little, how do I want to say, juicy boost. Juicy boost to get everything organized the way we want to, get everything in line the way we want to, and progress towards what we want to, and just be very focused on it. So that's why Taurus is coming out here. That's why Taurus is coming out here. I am hearing the word harvest. Why am I hearing harvest? Why am I hearing harvest? When we think of harvest, we think of fall, right? We think of that time of change, that time where, we're moving from summer into that transitionary period before we hit that death of winter, right? It's the time where we can really reap what we've sown, right? Harvest, you think of like harvest time, right? It's when we have the big feasts and we, harvest our crops, right? And get all of them ready for the next season. So it's while harvest feels really good, it has an energy of death behind it. I think that's why this is coming up. With these changes that we're going through collectively, internally, potentially globally, economically as well, right? It's a lot of us can sense these changes because Pluto's really intensifying those feelings. And it is a harvest. It is a harvest. When we shift from one state to the other, we're letting go, but we're also taking some things with us, right? We're harvesting. We're taking the fruits of our labor or the fruits of that cycle, the fruit of that state, and we're letting the rest of it go. We're taking the good stuff with us forward, even though that means there is something that's starting over. That just wants to be spoken on as far as the energy of this week, that there might be a bittersweetness to it. There might be some things that are really exciting about these internal changes, these external changes, the relationship changes, the work changes, because it has this feeling of abundance to it. Yeah, that we're gaining a lot, but that we're also starting over in a way. Whether that's just within our relationships or within our work or whatever. There is something very new, very blank slate, even if we are also reaping fruits of previous states of life, previous cycles that we're leaving behind, even as a collective. So enjoy the fruits of whatever cycle or state you're leaving, even if it's just a relationship or a job or a class, whatever, right? But allow yourself to also feel the bitterness of what you're leaving For some, there may even be a required little grief process. You'll know who you are. Let's keep moving. Retrograde. With the description of review. This is always such an interesting card to me, and I've also been really focused on what retrogrades actually are. I'm doing a whole thing right now with astrology that's like not on YouTube. Actually, they said don't talk about it. Okay, fine. I won't talk about it. Anyway, but this card coming out, we already have a lot of retrogrades going on right now. Neptune's retrograde, Pluto's retrograde, Chiron's retrograde, Venus is retrograde. I feel like I'm missing one. Mercury's gonna go retrograde soon. Uranus is gonna go retrograde soon. Retrogrades happen when we need to take that pause. Oh, it's like the harvest. It is the harvest. Thank you. This is the harvest energy that I was feeling. When retrogrades happen, it's a time literally for things to slow down, for things to pause, almost hitting this brief moment of death, actually, so that we can learn. We can grow, we can see how we've been, how that aspect of our life or how that way of being or way of doing things actually is not good for us or is outdated, or maybe we've outgrown it and it is time for a change, right? When Mercury retrogrades, energy moving through me. When Mercury retrogrades, it's a time to change our perspective. Shift our perspective, shift how we plan, shift how we communicate. When Venus retrogrades, it's time to evaluate relationships. How are we with relationships? How do we love? How do we create? What's our relationship with indulgence? What's our relationship with money? How does it need to change? How has it been holding us back, etc. When Mars retrogrades, it's how we assert ourselves, how we take action, how we cause change, because Mars is a malefic energy. All that means is that it literally breaks things down, which is necessary for a creation, right? So that's what I'm getting at. It's like that retrograde feeling, all these planets in retrograde. This is that moment of harvest where you pause for a minute. You pause, you take stock of how things have been, what you can take with you moving forward, and what needs to change. And in all these different themes, right? However it pertains to you, whether it's in Aries, whether it's in the themes of identity and self and asserting yourself, having your uniqueness, your unique voice, or it's within the context of relationships, right? What about my relationship dynamics need to change? Do I trust people? Am I open with people? Do I surrender to people? Do I hear people out? Right? Am I more of an alpha? Am I more of a beta or an omega or whatever? Right? Like, how does that need to change for what I am seeking in my life? Right? Or what is outdated or what I've outgrown? Like all these different things. Maybe it's your career. Maybe you don't want to be doing the work that you've been doing, right? Maybe it's your relationship to money. All these different themes, because we do have a lot going on, but that's what this is. That's what this is. So while there's all this go, go, go energy and move fast, move fast, move fast, move fast, make sure you give yourself a moment of the harvest. Maybe you're so eager to go, 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 go that you haven't exactly stopped a minute just to take stock of, before you go, 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 what needs to be altered or what needs to be adapted, right? To better facilitate that go, 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 and invest, 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 and create, 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 right? Yeah. Let's see what else wants to come out. Some of you may feel like you're going through reviewing your masculine energy versus more so your female Venusian energy, even though we are in Venus retrograde. And I think that's just because Mars is such a big player right now while Venus is retrograding. And I firmly believe too that when those planets in particular are retrograding, like when Mars retrogrades, it needs the support of Venus. While Venus retrogrades, we need the support of Mars. They help balance each other out, and they just represent the masculine and the feminine within us, within all those aspects, right? So if we're going into a review state, a harvest state, with our Venusian feminine energy, how we take care of ourselves, our intuitive internal worlds, right? Maybe even how we also create, because Venus and Mars create in different ways. Mars causes change in a destructive kind of way, while Venus is this internal, inspired, creative, feminine way. But anyway, so while Venus is needing to go through this kind of like harvest moment, we need that support of our inner masculine to like show up and keep things sturdy, keep things safe, keep things stable while we do that. So there's just different ways that this could be manifesting in your own personal life, but you could really be feeling that whole masculine showing up within the self. Any other messages or insights? Ooh. Seventh house, relationships. Some of you could be a Scorpio rising just because 7th house actually did land on Taurus, which I thought was interesting. But I've been talking about why relationships are so important this week. Relationships really are like creating a stage this week for us to sit in the spotlight. And we can see the changes within ourselves. We can see the changes that are happening, the changes that need to happen. It's shining a light on us so we can understand this harvest energy that needs to take place. And this harvest energy, like it might be, how do I want to say? Because we have so many retrogrades that are still coming up through the course of summer, that while I'm feeling the harvest energy now, like make sure you go through this like 7 of Pentacles kind of harvesty moment, right? Before you go full throttle into something new or go full throttle down a path or a certain investment. Definitely do that. But it feels like there's going to be repeated moments of this. So whatever you're throwing your Mars energy at, or how you're investing yourself into something like wholeheartedly, fully, 100%, just know that there isn't a call to do this little harvest now. Throw yourself in it, but know that there's going to be multiple little moments of harvest along the way. Okay? And again, just to reiterate, what I mean by harvest is like, think 7 of Pentacles. Pause, take a minute, reflect. What can I take with me moving forward, and what needs to die? What needs to be let go of so I can start a new season in this? So I can bring something fresh and new to the table. Okay? Okay. Anyway, overall energy, we have debilitated with discomfort. Debilitated is the opposite of exalted. Like debilitated Mars. I remember what debilitated Mars energy is, because I know the exalted is, oh, it's Cancer. Interesting. Capricorn, Cancer. A lot of that going on too, right? Especially because we had the new moon in Cancer not that long ago. But yeah, so debilitated is just this explanation of the least efficient expression of a sign in a planet. So where like Mars in Cancer, for example, like Mars is all about the do. Mars is all about like the show up, the do, the get things done, rise to the task. When it's in Cancer, it's more emotionally driven. That's not a bad thing, but it's less focused, it's less practical, and Mars wants to be practical. That's why it's exalted in Capricorn, right? Or like the moon, for example, like the moon is exalted in Taurus and it's debilitated in Scorpio. Because what happens when the moon is in Scorpio, Scorpio is already emotional, right? Scorpio is already a water sign that's all about the depths of the underworld, right? The subconscious, like our psyche, and even those like very shadowy emotions, like the dark side of human nature really is also what Scorpio is all about. So you put the moon in Scorpio and it's like, the vengeance side comes out a little bit more. The possessiveness comes out a little bit more. Being easily triggered comes out a little bit more. Versus when it's in Taurus, when it's like we're just very grounded in our emotions and what makes us happy, what makes us feel comfortable and supported and stable, right? So I'm just explaining and getting into the whole details of what debilitated is versus exalted. But I think the reason this is coming out is to understand where we can improve, to understand difficult energies and how to go through these harvest moments. It's also balancing that moment of pause and self-care with the do, with the get up and go. That's also what I'm feeling with that too. Because these harvests, they're necessary. It's like weeding. It's weeding, right? You plant a garden and things will grow, right? And you're putting your energy into it, you're investing your time, you're investing your resources, and you're watching things grow, but then you get weeds. And then you gotta pause, you gotta take a moment just to de-weed, not to do anything else, just to harvest. right? And then sometimes you go through bigger harvests where maybe you actually have to take some stuff out, but then you get to put in new stuff. So you understand what I'm saying, right? Balancing the self-care, the moments of pause, the moments of reflection, to adapt, to change things as they need to be changed, and then to go back into this fiery get it done, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and the balance of all of that. But anyway, I'm getting really carried away. I think I'm talking a lot today. Let's go ahead and get into the elements here. Who's going first? Water, earth, air, fire. Oh, fire. Okay. Okay, fire. I see you. All right, fire signs. So you guys know me. I normally go with the animal deck. I don't know if I'm feeling it today. Talk about changes, right? Am I really not going to use the animal deck? I love the animal deck. Okay, hold on. We're definitely going to use this one because this one's calling out a lot, and there's probably a reason for it. So we're going to use High Priestess of Light. I can't not use the animals. I love the animals too much, and we're going to use the animals too. So we're going to start Priestess of Light. We'll start here. All right. Fire signs, Aries, Leo, Sag. Fire signs, Aries. Let me move these over, actually. Talk, 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 talk is what I heard. Talk, 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 talk. Talk, talk. You're becoming very aware of your communication style, is what I just heard. Fire signs. Something is making you very aware of your communication style and how that could be interesting, how that could be perpetuating situations that you actually don't like. For some of you, this is also shift, like kind of like, I hate to say like shifting blame, but shifting the focus of, it's the difference of people just treat me like this, people just respond to me like this, versus, oh, I see how the way I treat people or talk to people could have them responding like this. You see what I'm saying? It's taking the shift of they do this to me, they respond to me, versus what I do has an effect on people. Interesting. Okay. Aries, Leo, Sag. Aries, Leo, Sag. Oh, talk about that masculine energy. There's a group of you where you're going to be very aware that, no, let me take that back. Let me reword that. You're going to be a little surprised at how much anger you're exuding out unintentionally. I really want to say it's unintentional. Like you might call it passion. You might just say, I'm very passionate. Then you're a fire sign. You probably are very passionate. Anger is very close to passion. Anger is very close to passion. What are you angry about? What are you angry about? Yeah, there's a group of you where you're going to realize you got a big well of anger and you've been calling it passion, but it's really anger. But this is all coming through communication style is what they're telling me. It's all about communication style. Aries, Leo, Sag. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. This actually came out in the Cancer reading. I did the birthday readings, was that just yesterday? On the 21st, I did the birthday readings for Cancer. It's up there on the homepage. If you can't find it under videos, that's because it was a live. And if you didn't realize that those are separated now on YouTube, they are separated now. But anyway, this came out in the Cancer reading. So it's funny, sensuality, which is passion. And again, you could be very passionate. You're a fire sign. It wouldn't surprise me. Hold on. Oh, excuse me. But some of you are also going to realize that, like, it's coming out as anger, or there's actual anger there, but you've just been saying it's passion. Some of you, this is also like a family thing. Like, you might come from a loud family, or you might come from like a passionate family, but that there's a fine line between passion and yelling, right? It's like there's a fine line there. So some of you guys might be actually realizing that. But I do like that this card is coming out for you too, because it does say that, it does indicate that there is this very divine fire that is also coming out of you too, and that's very present here. In the Cancer reading, it was very gentle. Like, everything was very gentle for Cancer in the Cancer reading, and I'm not really feeling the gentility here. That, oh, thank you. That is actually needed. Sorry, I got a bug bite. The gentility wants to be there, and it will help balance out that, like, expression of passion, right? If you have more of the gentility, the calm expression of that fire. There's something very divine about this energy too, again, like I said, that I really like. But yeah, it's calling for calm. It's calling for, hey, let's not jump into that conversation. Let's not spit those words out at people. Let's not let's not make the flame go rawr, right? It's like, subtle flame. Let's sit back. Let's listen for a minute. Let's take stock of how we're really feeling. It's like, it's literally just saying that you might be realizing in the way that you're communicating, the way you express yourself is being misinterpreted with your intention because of, like, I hate to say it, but it feels like this lack of responsibility of how your energy is coming out at people. And yes, people are responsible for their own feelings, and that's not what I'm talking about, right? Oh my God, this is so itchy. That's not what I'm referring to. Right? I'm referring to understanding that what we say and do affects people. The intensity of what we say and do also affects people. And you might be realizing there's something you could potentially do about that. Because I also keep getting to, it's like the reaction you get from people, or like how people respond to you is not what you're looking for. Like, there's something about that you don't like. But now there's this recognition of, oh, I need to, like, pull my energy back. I need to just, like, rein it in a little bit. And it's not dimming your light. That's not what I'm getting at. It's not dimming your light. It's just recognizing I'm throwing my energy at somebody. Let me put it back where it belongs, in here, right? That's what that's speaking to. Interesting message, fire signs. Let's keep going. Anything else from my fire signs? Aries, Leo, Sag. Ooh, we like this. Guide, the illuminated path, 21 breaking down to a 3. Just to point it out, we do have an 11 here. I don't think I pointed it out. 38 with the 11, and then 21 with the 3. Both really powerful sacred numbers as well. With the illuminated path card, again, I keep getting this is about the result you're looking for, which does also go hand in hand with the Mars trine Jupiter aspect that we're under, right? Because Mars trine Jupiter is like, what do you want? You want to go for it, understand how to go for it, and then just go and just do. That's what Mars trine Jupiter is asking for us to do. But the square between Pluto and the North Node is bringing up all these intense feelings and a sense of awareness, right? An intensified sense of awareness of self, and then especially in the context of relationships. So you know what kind of relationships you're seeking. You know what kind of work opportunities, life circumstances, life events and experiences you're seeking. You know what you're seeking. That's what I'm getting from this most, is like, you understand what you're seeking. This is also shining light on what changes you can make to accommodate that. And for a lot of you, I'm getting it's about communication style. Okay, let's get one more. Then we'll move on to the animals. Anything else for my fire signs? Oh, that's it. On the bottom, go with the flow. I like that. Letting go, cleansing, receiving, 25, break it down to a 7. Very feminine, right? This is surrender. Hold on a second. This is an energy of surrender. This is an energy of ease, gentility, right? Even with cleansing and rejuvenating, right? It's understanding what needs to be reset about the self or about how you're going about something, but it's very reflective and it's very internal and it's very much like, I'm not gonna force, I'm not gonna throw, I'm not going to jump in immediately. Let me take a minute. Think before I speak. I'm gonna keep my energy to myself, even if I'm present with somebody, because it's all about understanding how you want things to be different, right? And understanding that you do actually have control over how people react to you and respond to you, and to some extent, very slightly, to some extent, right? And again, it's not about dimming your light. It's not. I'm also getting that anger again. That anger group is definitely not all of you. It's a group within this collective that I'm reading for that I can feel, where it's a lot of like, I'm just passionate, when it's really anger. That's really what it is. It's really anger that wants to be addressed. Let's go there for a minute. That group, that anger group, there's a taste of criticism there. I can literally, like, practically taste it. It's such a Gemini way of saying it. Literally, practically. Can taste it. It's weird how energy moves through me, because like literally sometimes it's like, especially if it's something about words, I feel it all in here, right? And it does actually change the way my mouth feels. It's a very trippy experience. But anyway, yeah, I can feel it. It's like, it's behind the anger, behind the passion is anger, and then behind that it's a critical, judgmental tongue. It's the tendency to be critical and judgmental, and potentially because you're critical and judgmental towards yourself, most likely. People who are judgmental and critical towards other people also speak to themselves that way, hold themselves to those kinds of standards. And because they hold themselves to those standards, it's hard to not put that on other people. A lot of times of how we treat other people is a reflection of how we treat ourselves, right? Or even how we allow people to treat us is often a reflection of how we also treat ourselves, right? I think both hold true to some extent. Yeah, so some of you, that's there. I want to get that energy out of my mouth. Let's go ahead and pull some animals. If any of you have been unclear on exactly what it is that you want to change or what you want to invest yourself into, I'm hearing devote actually, what you want to devote, I'm getting earthy energy now, what you want to devote yourself to, that's getting clear as well, especially with this card coming out here and the go with the flow. And it seems like more that clarity is coming in as you literally surrender and let go of some of your emotions, some things you've been holding on to, attached to, or carrying around with you. Then more of that clarity is going to come forward, and it feels like it's sacral. Sorry, a lot of stuff's coming in now. It feels like it's very rooted in the sacral as well, which is the creative center. It's our inner child. That's sexuality, right? So anything sexual related, anything related to play, to fun, inner child, like I said. Yeah, anything related to that you've been holding on to, where those aspects of your life maybe have been compromised. I don't want to use the word tainted. Compromised, restricted. You will be getting clarity, more clarity. Any messages or insights for my fire signs? Aries, Leo, Sag. A lot of accountability, and I really like this energy, and I'm sorry, I feel like this is a collective thing. So fire signs, we're still on your reading, obviously, but this is also a collective lesson experience that we're all going through, right? Is the accountability of self in our experience, in our reality. You want to live in a certain location, you want to have a certain kind of job, you want to have a certain kind of relationship. What are we doing, or what part of our relationship with self, or what of our own behaviors don't align to those things, causing us to not have those things, right? Causing us to not have those experiences. Like, why am I not having the experiences I want? Is it something about me that's not aligned to the things that I want? And why is that? And what can I do about it? Very Aries, actually. That's very Aries. That's very much Mars, especially we're working with Jupiter, really helping us here. So a week to understand, how do we get what we want? What is within our control? What can we change? How do we adapt and navigate to get what we want? Any other messages or insights for my fire signs? Camel. Oh, you guys know how I feel about the camel card. None of these cards are bad. None of these cards are bad. None of these cards are necessarily good either. They just are what they are, right? Camel is just this energy of surviving. It's this energy of understanding what is needed, understanding resources. It's actually very Virgo-y to me, even though it's considered a fire energy. It's getting through the desert for 40 days and 40 nights. This feels like hardcore Virgo to me. This feels like resourcefulness. That's what I'm getting with this for you. Like practical, resourceful. Practical, resourceful, practical, resourceful. This might be the mindset that you approach relationships or certain conversations. Now, again, this is like mostly of what I'm getting here for my fire signs is understanding how your communication style affects your relationships and affect how people treat you and how people respond to you. I keep getting this is very Virgo. Like this is very centered around practicality, black, white. It serves a purpose. I can see that. So this might be just purely in the workplace for some of you, but I get it. It's actually very masculine. It's just very direct and very just, this is what it is. Which is helpful in certain circumstances, right? Especially if it's work related. Like, yes, that is a good skill to have, but humans are not practical, right? Relationships are not practical. Creativity is not practical. It's inspired. It's inspired. It's free flow. It's take me anywhere. It's emotional, right? It's not practical. So some of you, this is your mindset. Some of you, this is just how you communicate to people. And it's, again, not a bad thing. It's actually a good superpower to have when you need to pull that out. But it does a disservice in relationships. I almost feel like it kind of blocks off the fire. Like it, yeah, in a way, like it kind of like turns off the inspiration. It kind of shuts down the play. It shuts down the play, and it can make things a little serious is kind of what I'm getting. So again, whether this is your mindset or your approach to relationships or the way you communicate, if it's like an approach to relationships, you view relationships as very practical, potentially transactional, potentially, you know who you are. You don't even tell you who you are, right? And if it's a communication style, it's just very quick, very blunt, very direct, very black and white. This is what it is. If it's a mindset, you kind of have this mindset that everything should be practical, everything should have a purpose. But then where's the inspiration? Where's the fun? Where's the fun? Anything else for my fire signs? Aries, Leo, Sag. Now this doesn't have to be for you. This can also be for someone you know or someone in your field. Ooh, and then we get Hawk. Yeah, literally. So Hawk is being spiritually guided. It's literally feeling this pull in a certain direction or the call. It can be like a judgment card sort of vibe. It could be your guides literally going, hey, do this, do A, B, C, D. Look at the direction of the hawk and the direction of the camel. Opposite directions. The hawk is literally like, please stop doing that. We need to shift here. We need to change the camel energy. We need to get out of the mindset of practicality. We need to get out of the communication style of directness, right? Of just black and white. This is what it is. approach to life, like we need to get out of the camel energy. We need to shift things here. And it is to bring in more fun. It is to bring in more inspired energy. It's also to, how I want to say, also allow room for people to be people is also what's coming through too, especially for anybody struggling with the judgmental, critical stuff. Make room for people to be people. Anything else for my fire signs? Aries, Leo, Sag. Ah! I'll pick that up in a second. Sorry. Oh, and there's the vulture. We like the vulture. Give me 1 second, guys. Wee. Bee and vulture. These two cards together totally remind me of harvest. I can't think of any two other cards in this deck that would remind me of harvest in that kind of way. Now remember, the notion of harvest that I'm speaking to is this idea of let's pause this relationship, or let's pause this circumstance, or let's take a pause and moment in life, sit with what is, what we have, what we've gained, and understand what we can take with us moving forward, understand what needs to die here and now. And whatever dies here and now makes room for the new moving forward, along with the fruits of our labor, the fruits of our cycles, the fruits of our relationships that we're taking forward. For some, those fruits are lessons. For some, those fruits are literally money. Maybe it's actual fruit. You understand what I'm saying, right? Maybe it's children, right? You understand what I'm saying? But yeah, here's this vulture bee energy, the energy of harvest. What can I take with me moving forward from this camel energy, and what about the camel needs to die? Like I said, this is a superpower. Practicality is needed in life in some regard. Maybe it's like, maybe you need to be practical about spending money sometimes. You got to pull the camel out. Maybe times get a little tight and you got to live practically. Pull the camel out, right? Maybe you're in a relationship that is purely work related, no emotional anything. And maybe you're working with a mercurial person. Maybe sometimes you got to pull the camel out to meet them on that level. But any relationship, I feel like there needs to be an emotional human component, right? But it's like evaluating the camel, and what about the camel is great and healthy, and what about the camel is not? What are you taking with you? What are you leaving behind? And Spirit's like, time for a change, time for a shift. Do your harvest moment, your retrograde moment, and move on, move forward. On the bottom, I'll show you. I've been starting to not like look at the bottoms as much, or show you guys the bottoms as much. I just haven't been feeling as called anymore. And you guys already even know, who've been with me for a long time, the way I read changes over time. But anyway, turtle coming out is an ancestral energy, kind of like a guiding energy as well, like someone overlooking, helping out. But it's also a grounded energy and pacing. The pace of the camel needs to change. It's the same message over and over. Yeah, wow, underneath turtle we have octopus, devil energy. Yeah, what about this energy is holding you back? Keeping you from growing, keeping you from gracefully flowing with life and gracefully flowing with what it is you want for yourself. Okay, all right, let's go ahead and pull some tarot cards here. Just looking at what I have. Yeah. We're gonna go with the Honest Truth deck. Any messages for Aries, Leo, Sag? Woo. Wow. So clear. The Tower. The Lovers. The Ten of Swords in reverse. It's this realization. It's the sudden realization. Potentially some of you, it's this change in your life, but I feel like it's way more about this like light bulb of, oh, I see now, right? I see that I need to make a choice here with the Lover's card, a choice that's aligned to my soul, that's aligned to what I'm being called to do, that requires me to face what I haven't been letting go of, what I haven't allowed to evolve in my life or part of who I am. And again, for a lot of you, I feel like it's coming down to communication style. It doesn't ah, it doesn't have to be that specifically, but it's this energy of practicality. Whether you look at relationships as just purely practical, transactional, or like maybe opportunistic a little bit, or the way you communicate is very practical, very short, very blunt, very direct, very straight to the point. Or the way you look at life, right? Like everything needs to be practical, everything needs to have a purpose, everything needs to have a use of some kind. Like realizing that maybe that way of being, thinking, looking at relationships, communicating, etc., doesn't really work anymore, or doesn't really add to your happiness, or isn't allowing for the experiences you want to have, right? So face what you haven't been willing to let go of when it comes to the camel, and what you can take with you from the camel moving forward. Super clear. I don't even think we need to pull any more cards. Yeah, I don't think it's necessary. We will. But I don't think it's necessary. But we're going to do it anyway. Yep. Anything else? My fire signs. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of repeating the message, but we'll go there. We got Six of Cups that flew up all by itself. This is the energy of the past. When this card comes out, it can be about memories, childhood, inner child, nostalgia. There's also my patterns card. So patterns that we've carried on from family or childhood, also speaks to soulmates, soul contracts, that sort of deal. That energy is here because this is about a way of being that you have been carrying around with you for quite some time. And it's rooted in something in your past that cultivated that for you, that mindset, that way of communicating. Like I said, for some of you, like especially communication style, you could have just been raised with that, not realizing this feels assertive to most people, right? Or that the way your family was communicating was actually from anger. And so you just kind of learned that that was okay. That's just an example. I'm not saying that this is the case for all of you. I've already gone over that. But anyway, that's why the Six of Cups is here. Oh, God. And then we had this huge stack fly out. Yeah, very clear. Look at this. Ace of Wands with Judgment and the Fool. Take a risk in a new direction, especially with the Judgment call being there, and listen to that feeling. Listen to that intuition, that instinct, that feeling you can't shake of something about the way I'm doing things needs to change because I'm not having certain experiences that I want to have. And the Fool card comes right with Death and Nine of Swords. It's going to require a change of the camel to do that. And with the Nine of Swords, it doesn't feel very comfortable. It just doesn't. It doesn't feel very comfortable. There's accountability that needs to happen there. There's a little bit of fear and anxiety of like really examining what that means, right? To change the camel and change that way of being, but it's necessary. It's necessary to have these new experiences. Okay. Okay. Alrighty. Let's move on. Where did my notebook go? Oh, there it is. Who's next? Earth and air, you're really interesting. You feel like you're floating. Like Earth, air, where are you? And it's almost like you're up in the clouds. It's really interesting. Water, earth, or air. All right, Earth, we're gonna go with you. We're gonna go with you. Okay. Some of you are really up in the clouds. Some of you really need to come back down into your body. So you really need to come back down into your body. Some of you guys could be having really intense dream experiences as well. But Capricorn, Taurus, and Virgo. Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo. I'm getting a shield with you. It's interesting. Like a shielded armor sort of vibe. Why am I getting that with you? Some of you are getting into your warrior energy, your masculine energy, to focus, to get shit done, to be disciplined. I'm hearing it's focused, to be focused, to be focused, to be focused. Okay, we like that. What else is going on from our earth signs? Yeah, they keep showing me a knight, like literally like being in armor, a sword, a shield, the whole thing. Are you feeling like you have to protect yourself right now? There's something going on there, because like on one hand, I do feel this shift into masculine energy with you that feels just very earthy. Like it feels like you're just doing your earthly thing of like ready to work now. Like feels very, very much like you. But on the other hand, it almost feels like, why is there a need for the armor? Why is there a need for the shield? Why is there a need for a sword? Like, why is there a need for this display? Just kind of interesting to say it that way. You might be trying to assert your power or your dominance or show people that you're powerful or show people that you mean business. Because it has this feeling of display of power. But why? Why is that necessary? We'll get into this. We'll get into this. And this doesn't have to be for you or signs to be somebody you know, right? As I said before. See, now they're showing me the Six of Swords, which to me says movement, travel, peace, acceptance, moving on, moving forward. I don't think this is just about you, Earth signs. I don't think this is just about you. It could be that you're learning to move away from needing to display yourself in a certain way or in a certain image and learning to leave that behind. But some of you could be dealing with somebody like this, trying to display their power, and you're just like, screw this. Like, that could totally be the case. But let's get into this. Let's get into this. Because that Six of Swords energy, they're not showing me exactly the Six of Swords. It just has that feel. Like they're literally showing me someone like in a boat under moonlight, just like very peacefully, just moving along, moseying, I'm fine. Like, like moving away from stuff and moving towards very like calm, peaceful waters is what they're showing me. I'm sorry, Earth signs, what is going on with you? This is a very weird channeling. They keep showing me that image of being on a boat under the moon, going, and then I just heard the cover of night. So what? Okay. You might feel like you need to keep some shit to yourself. You might feel you need to keep some things under wrap, protected, and like to move in silence, move under the cover of night, move in the darkness where no one can see. But the moon feels really important though. It's letting your emotions guide you, letting your intuition guide you. That's what I keep getting with you, Earth signs. It's like there's something happening behind closed doors under the cover of night. Maybe this is also just an internal process, right? But it feels like I don't want people to know this, or I don't want to share this with people. Like it feels like protect, keep on the down low, keep on the down low, keep on the down low of what you're doing or what you're going through or what you're working on. It could even be a relationship. I don't know. We'll get deeper into this. Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo. Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo. Ooh. Miracles. Ooh, ancient wisdom. And I wanted to say, like, maybe Spirit's actually just protecting you and shielding you from people. And I'm kind of getting that here too a little bit. 39 breaking down to a 3. Yeah, really pay attention to your dreams. No wonder I felt you guys being so up in the clouds. A lot of you guys are getting downloads, intuitive hits, or having dreams where you could actually be recalling different experiences and different information. Like, how do I want to say this? Like you might actually be remembering other planets. You might actually be remembering other timelines. You might feel like you're living out alternate versions of reality in your dream time, or even just being able to tap into that. Like that's kind of what I'm getting here, which is also why I felt like you weren't really in your body very much. Getting in your body would really help you with this either way, but it's like there's a lot coming to you under the guise of night. Yeah, like behind closed doors. There's a lot of information coming to you behind closed doors. It's not for people to know, it's not for people to see, is what I'm getting here. Interesting. Ooh, Soul Radiance with Phoenix Rising. The threes are really standing out here, but 53 breaking down to an 8. So whatever is happening behind closed doors, in your subconscious, in your internal world, in dream time, in the astral, between you and spirit, between you and yourself, again, it all feels very hidden away. It all feels very protected. And it feels like it's putting you in this position to head down some new territory, head down some new waters, but it's going to allow you to blossom. It's going to allow you actually more freedom, more space to breathe, more space to do, express. It's so crazy this is coming through, because yeah, I feel like you're shifting from a state of it could be a state of being or even an actual external situation like in the physical reality that feels confining, a little tight, like you can't really be yourself or you can't be full on out. And so now you're shifting into this internal state of being able to be more of you and be out and be expressive. But others of you, it's like you're actually going to be shifting your physical reality that way. Like you might be in a job or in a location or something like that where it's like it's too confining. You can't be you. You can't do the things that you want to do or need to do. And again, this is all under wraps. Like I don't feel like you're talking about this to people. And it may even be happening like non-physically, like spirit could be setting some stuff up for you and then it'll happen. But you're shifting from a physical reality that is confining and not really good for you to be out like you to something that does nurture you in that way. You see what I'm saying? So whether this is just like an internal state of being or you're actually shifting physical realities in order to do that. That's what's happening with your signs. That's what's happening. And for those of you where spirit's like setting stuff up for you in your physical reality, you might feel very like confused. You might feel like there's a lot of unknowns going on right now because you're not supposed to totally know. And that feels protective to me. That feels totally protective to me. Like you are supposed to be in a certain place at a certain time doing certain things. But if you knew, like if you really knew, then other people would know. And there's something about that doesn't feel super safe or super good. This is a very fascinating reading, Earth signs. I'm really liking this. This is very, very fascinating. But either way of how this is manifesting for you, you're just moving into a state where you can be more yourself. You have more room to experiment, to wiggle around, to be yourself, to be expressive, to do whatever it is you want to do and whatever it is you need to do. And a lot of this feels like what's happening is very much behind closed doors, or you're not talking about it, or it's happening like in dream time, or like literally spirit setting stuff up for you. Like that's how that feels to me, under the guise of night. Let's see if anything else wants to come out for you. You may even feel very protective of yourself at this time, and you might not even know why. But that's actually why. On the bottom, we have Sacred Gratitude with a 5, with 50 there. Reverent Appreciation and Prayer. Oh. Something about this feels, hold on, what's the right words for this? I feel a lot of focus behind this card. That's what I'm feeling. I'm feeling a lot of focus. You could be meditating a lot. You could be taking a lot of moments to yourself. You could be taking a lot of quiet moments or a lot of moments in nature or with spirit. But this feels like a very, yeah, I just want to say focus. Like this feels like a very focused, intentional holding on to what you want. And what you want is freedom. That's what you want. You want freedom, you want room to be you want room to be expressive, you want room to be free. Free to just be yourself within your own skin, or free within the context of your physical reality, like where you live, what you do for a living, within a family, like that sort of deal. It's about freedom. And it's almost like you're holding the intention. You're holding the focus of that. Yeah, it's like a very intense, focused, meditative manifestation at work is what's going on with you. You're totally co-creating with spirit. Feels like a very serious reading for signs. Let's go ahead and pull some other cards here. Going with the animals. Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo. Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo. There's still a couple more. Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo. Yeah, I think it brought me back to this protecting yourself. You're also very aware of other people's words right now. I feel like you're very aware of spells. Like you're very aware of what people say and do and how it affects you, or like can like make you feel a certain way, because there's a lot of power in words, right? It's like when you're telling someone something about them, you're casting spells, right? So some of you guys might actually be protective of yourself right now because deep down you know something big is shifting for you that's leading to this feeling of I am free within myself, or I am going to live in a place where I have more freedom, or I'm going to do a job that allows me to have more personal freedom. It's all about freedom for you. I'm getting really itchy. Sorry, guys. Hold on a second. Like, am I getting a rash? What's going on? My solar just got super itchy saying that. You're very focused on your personal freedom, right? That's what you want. And so some of you guys might be very aware that something is shifting and you feel very protective of yourself and you're not sure why, but that's also why, right? Because if people are telling you this is what's happening with you, or what they think of you, or what they see you doing, or whatever, they're casting spells, right? So some of you guys might be spending some more time alone. But just very interesting take there. Let's do one more shuffle. Okay. Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo. Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo. Yeah, nice. Dragonfly. I just heard the eye. The eye. The eye. Dragonfly is a third eye energy for me. It also speaks to shifts in perspective. Some people see dragonfly as transition energy, or indicating changes, transformations. I look at it as third eye energy, intuition, being able to discern practically, logically, and psychically, emotionally, right? It's all about seeing. That's what the dragonfly is for me. But it also requires a shift in perspective. I feel like this is about you just seeing and understanding what's really going on, which is why you feel protective of yourself, which is why you're focused. You're also staying focused, right? And a lot of you are also very open as far as downloads are concerned and like dream time experiences are concerned, with ancient wisdom being here. The more you can maintain this focus, the faster you're going to pull it in, for sure. The faster you can actually manifest it into reality, and the faster you're going to reach this level of personal freedom. But I keep getting, it's like you're so aware of how you need to protect this. Like your eye is on it. But if you indulge, right? If you indulge in what people are telling you, that kind of goes against that, or you indulge in distractions, it's almost like you're going to lose like the spotlight of your path, is kind of like how it's coming through. Like you're going to lose the spotlight of like what's going to help you attain that personal freedom, or that even matters so much to you. Interesting. It's a very spiritual read here. Anything else for my earth signs? Capricorn, Taurus. Whoa! Look at this. Cosmic egg. crown chakra energy. This card also indicates reaching pinnacles of spiritual development, right? Like reaching levels of climactic spiritual development, cycles, awakenings, that sort of deal. Coming in with the Phoenix rising. Some of you are moving into a bigger purpose is also what I'm hearing. You know, becoming aware of, because it's always been your purpose is what I just heard. It's always been your purpose. You're just opening up more to it now. Your eye is opening up more to it. You could even be going through a third eye opening here. But yeah, it's just becoming more and more clear to you the more and more you focus. Because what we want, that is our purpose. It is. That's our soul telling us, hey, you're designed to do this, which is why it'd be so fulfilling, which is why it would make you really happy. So maybe you should focus on that. Like, that's how this starts, right? It's like, oh, I want to be free. I want personal freedom. And focusing on that is helping to open you up to like seeing more of how you can attain that. It's also pushing you in that direction, but also helping you to realize like the bigger picture of what you could do. It also feels like there's a breaking limits here that's happening as well. Like, especially if this is like work related, like maybe you were doing a certain job and you've been doing it, but now it's like, wait, I could do this instead. And it's bigger or it touches more people, right? Like, you know, going statewide to nationwide, for example. Just an example, but yeah. So earth signs, you're expanding, you're growing. Because of that, your vision is expanding, your vision is growing. And so is your purpose, and so is your path. And for some of you, as a consequence, so is your job. It's really beautiful. Okay. Yeah, it's thank you. It's like an animal outgrowing its cage. Yeah, I think that's like the perfect analogy. It's like an animal outgrowing its cage. Like you've been in a certain space, you've been in a certain way of life or doing or being or whatever, and you've outgrown it. It's time for a bigger cage. Or no cage. But yeah, I keep getting pulled back to this protect it, protect it, protect it. Cultivate it, cultivate it, cultivate it. Focus on it, focus on it, focus on it. Stop getting distracted. Yeah, on the bottom we have fish. Surrender. Just surrender and flow with it. Yep, to butterfly, to the new. Also indicative of transformations as well. Yeah, earth signs, it's like you've outgrown your life is how this feels. You've outgrown your life or you've outgrown your vessel. You've outgrown this reality and it's time to level up, right? And you're going to level up by just staying focused on what it is you want. And it seems like you want personal freedom. You want more space to breathe. You want more things you can do, more that you can experiment with. You want more, you want more, you want bigger because you've outgrown. And you need bigger. You need more at this point. Yeah. This is very much an internal process, but also I keep feeling like spiritual divine intervention to like help get you to the right place, people, like, you know, that sort of deal, like in your physical reality to facilitate that. It's just taking time, but as long as you stay focused, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. Keep focusing and keep trusting, and it's going to happen. We might even, you know what? Yeah, let's do this. Let's do some divine timing cards as well. Normally I'd go into tarot for this portion. Are we going to do tarot for this? It feels very clear to me. I don't feel the need to pull tarot cards for you on this. Just felt something breathe on my arm. I was like, what was that? Yeah, I don't feel the need to do tarot cards for this. This is really clear to me for you. That's interesting. Yeah, it's almost like don't pull tarot cards. Yeah, I'm not going to do tarot cards. Let's just jump right into the divine timing oracle. If my mouth can work properly today. Okay. Ooh, these are stiff ones. Stiff babies. One more. Okay. Let's do this. Any other messages or insights from my earth signs pertaining to this spread? Wah! I'm not taking any of those. None of those felt right. Okay. Oh my god. Cards are so slippery. Okay. Create space for it to happen sooner. Remember what I said, stay focused and it'll happen, it'll happen, it'll happen, but you are literally outgrowing your reality, your job, your environment, your relationships. Like, it feels very big picture to me. Like, you're ready for different, you're ready for bigger, you're ready for more. And what they're saying is, you want more, you want bigger, help facilitate it. Right? What was I saying before about what this whole week is also about? Harvest. It's also about harvest. Look at what you have, what you love about what you have, what you can actually take with you, right? Wherever it is you're headed, or whatever this like new reality is going to be for you, this new job, whatever it is, right? And what you need to leave behind. You want it to happen? Facilitate it by doing a harvest. Having this retrograde moment. Wow. See if any ones want to come out. I also want to say, like, move around more. Because I keep feeling like you need bigger, you need more, you need more. So I almost want to say cover more ground, actually, physically, right? Like, let's say you've outgrown your living space. Maybe it's starting to feel a little cramped in there. You can totally, like, do an actual cleaning and get rid of stuff. But I also want to say, like, get out in nature or travel or go for walks. Like, literally take up more physical space with your vessel or like with your car or anything like that to help facilitate this whole I need more. I want more freedom. I want more of this, right? But yeah, take up more physical space. So now you have sooner than you expect and around May. Something could have already shifted for you this last May. I would definitely reflect back on that time. I'm trying to remember what was going on in May. That was before the pre-shadow for Venus retrograde started. What was going on in May? Can I even remember? I feel like that was just after the eclipses, if memory serves. What else was going on in May? Anyway, yeah, reflect back to May. Something happened in May to facilitate this for you is actually what I'm getting. Like, it was almost like the beginning of this facilitation of getting you to a bigger cage or no cage at all. And then you have sooner than you expect. I want to say, yeah, I keep coming back to this. Something happened in May to facilitate this process for you or help trigger this process for you or made you like realize you have that feeling of, I want more now. I've outgrown this or I've outgrown that. This could be coming into your reality really soon. But again, if you wanted to come in faster, yeah, absolutely. Create space for that by either taking up more space or actually doing a harvest. But something happened in May. I really want to say something happened in May to facilitate this. Interesting. All right, let's move on. I like those cards. All right, water and air. All right, we're gonna do water. Okay. Capricorn, Capricorn. I meant to say Cancer. Sorry, water signs. I just did Earth signs. Maybe something wrong with Cappy. Pluto is in Capricorn. Anyway, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. I feel like you guys are actually doing pretty good this week. Let's see. Water signs, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. Cancer. Wow. Am I taking this? No. Okay. I said no. Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. What is that? Is that a panther? I want to say that's a panther. It's the black one. It's the black cat. I want to say it's the panther. They're showing me a panther. That to me is divine feminine energy, divine feminine power. So it has a little bit of a shamanic flavor to it as well, especially with the color of black, right? You could be really resonating with cats. You could be seeing cats. That's something that I see a lot because I have a lot of cat guardians from the Lyrans. But anyway. Yeah, so you guys can, okay, so much cat energy now, water signs, so much cat energy. Obviously, this goes to be the influence of Leo as well. You can be working with Bast or Bastet. Now they're showing me black cats. Yeah, I just get cats. Lots of cat symbology for my water signs, but those are protectors. They're protectors. They're protectors, they're guardians. That's why I feel like the cats are actually present right now in your reading. It's a guardian energy. I would talk to these cats. I would talk to these cats. I would work with these cats, especially if you're actually seeing them. Acknowledge that they're there. Acknowledge what they're helping you to do. Acknowledge why they're there. Water signs, acknowledge why they're there. Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. I feel really strong Lyra energy. Okay, this wants to be discussed. So water signs, for those guys who are really connected to certain, galactic energies, families, star family, acknowledge them. Acknowledge them. They don't feel forgotten. Oh, I'm actually seeing a vulture cloud now, moving across. Anyway, it's not that they feel forgotten, or is that a dragon? Holy shit, that's a dragon. I thought it was a vulture, but now it's shifting a little, the cloud. It's a dragon. It's totally a dragon. Anyway, sorry, coming back. It might be very important for some of you guys. Well, yeah, star family. It's not that they feel forgotten. It's more like acknowledge us so you can acknowledge more of yourself. You might have been rejecting that side of you for some reason, that side of your magic, that side of your soul. Because we're all connected to star family. We're all connected to all things. We're connected to everything. We're all one, right? So some of you just might have not been focused on that part of you, or maybe that part, especially for my mystics, maybe not a part of your spirituality. It feels like rejection to me, though. It feels like rejection to me, like you've been rejecting that, and I'm curious as to why that would be. So interesting. I just wanted to take a peek when I cut the deck. Divine Masculine and Abundance. A lot of Divine Masculine energy present right now because Venus just went retrograde. I think I explained that in the beginning, so I won't explain it again. Hold on. Cards flipped out. But yeah, water signs. It's okay to acknowledge that. It's okay to acknowledge that part of you. Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. Clairvoyance, inspiration, interpretation, trust. 35 breaking down to an 8. Like I said, I feel like for the most part, you guys feel pretty good. I feel like you guys feel very solid. This to me is actually indicating that you're very much in your element. You're very much in your own waters, your emotions, your own psychic abilities. But this card also comes out to say, trust what you're feeling, trust your intuition, trust what you know, trust what you're picking up. And I think that's why that was coming through of like, don't reject us. Like, don't reject this part of you because it is you. We are you. It's the truth. It's the truth. Others of you, it's not so much of a rejection. It's more like making that leap of belief. I could do a whole video on belief. That's been coming up a lot too, collectively. Yeah, where it's like you have certain experiences or repetitive experiences, and it's remembering the belief, remembering how important belief is, remembering how important the magic of belief actually is. And even like the word believe, I've actually been wanting to not use that anymore. Like instead of saying believe, saying be, live, right? It's like that is much more of an active, alive, energetic manifestation of the power of belief, which is co-creation. It's manifestation. It's bringing things into your reality, right? Yeah, for some of you, it's like there's this need to make the leap with belief or to be, live, right? Especially with Lionsgate, just like right around the corner. You might be, yeah, they're saying pay attention to the signs, is what I just heard. Please start paying attention to the signs. Please start paying attention to the signs. Please come back to belief. I feel like I'm speaking to water signs that maybe you had very, very strong belief, or you know, believed in an aspect of spirituality or in your star family, in something greater than you, or it even could have just been a dream of yours, right? It could have even just been a hope. It doesn't have to be star family related necessarily. And you believed it so strongly. Where did that go? Where did that go? Where did that go? Do you not believe in it anymore? And why is that? Why would that be? When we're getting shamanic energy earlier, shamanic journey. 23 breaking down to a 5. Lots of 3s and 5s. Purpose, attunement, vision quest. There's something about revisiting that, okay? There's something with shamanic journey. Obviously, it's speaking to, how do I want to say? It's speaking to that vision quest energy, right? It's speaking to journeying, right? And when we do any kind of shamanic journeying, it's going through time, space, realms, to collect pieces of self, pieces of information, truth, right? And that's what I'm getting. Like for up till this point, the harvests, right, have mostly been about like, oh, I should probably change this behavior. I should probably change the way I communicate, or like very practically, I think with earth signs is more like, okay, what do I have in my physical reality that I want to keep around? For you, it feels like it's of the soul. Some soul retrieval energy here. I feel like you're being asked to literally go back in time, or go to a place in time and space, a version of you in time and space where your belief was very strong in something, whether it was in a dream of yours, in a wish fulfillment of yours, or in a whole entire belief system, right? Where it was super strong, and something changed that. Something changed that. Something changed your belief in a dream, in a wish, in a way of being, in a, maybe even in spirituality, maybe even in an entire faith and belief system, even of itself. Go back to that time. Go back to that place in time and space. Go back to that version of yourself and revisit that. And I want to say reclaim it. Yeah, this feels like soul retrieval. Yeah, and reclaim it. Maybe not all of it. Maybe not all of it. Maybe there was some distortion as to why your belief was so strong, right? Then maybe some of it wasn't. But this is your harvest, water signs. It's harvest time. Your harvest is of the soul. This is a soul retrieval. Fire signs, their harvest was more about communication, how they express their fire, right? And earth signs, it felt very like practical, like in their physical reality, because they needed more space and more freedom and that sort of deal, right? They needed bigger space. But for you, it's of the soul. Ooh. Let's even get one more. On the bottom, we have healing earth. The power to give and receive healing. Oh, and look who showed up again. Divine masculine. So again, this very strong belief, it could have been about anything. It could have been about your entire faith, spirituality, belief system. It could have been about the concept of maybe love or relationship or friendship. Maybe it was about your star families. Maybe it was about what you so strongly believed about yourself. And for some of my mystics, maybe even about your own gifts potentially, right? But this to me feels like it's just going back to a time where you so strongly believed in something and felt good about that particular thing, and something made that wane for you. Something potentially took that away from you, or caused you to lose faith, caused you to lose your belief in it. And I want to say it actually has impacted your sense of self. It is a soul retrieval, right? I want to say it's impacted your sense of self, or who you believe yourself to be, or even what you believe yourself to be capable of. Especially my mystics, I feel like it's actually compromised what you think your gifts are, or how you think you can help people or be of service. But with the divine masculine energy being here, it's also indicating that kind of, how do I want to say this? Your masculine energy is supporting you. Okay, that's what I want to say. Your masculine energy is supporting you in this soul retrieval, that you're safe, that you are protected. And for some of you, this is actually a soul retrieval around the belief in divine masculine energy as a concept, or men in particular, especially if it's like relationship related. Some of you guys, this could have been about like recovering from a whole twin flame sort of journey experience, right? No matter how you cut it, water signs, this is a soul retrieval to recover your belief, the power of your belief. When you so strongly believed in something, I mean, it feels very strong. Like I'm tapping into it. And it's like you believe with every soul and fiber, like soul fiber, cell and fiber in your being, in this thing, in this person, in this concept, or in star family, or whatever. But something caused that to wane. Revisit that piece of you and do your harvest. What needs to stay there and be let go of, and what you need to reclaim for yourself. Ooh, okay. Interesting. Let's go ahead, pull some animal cards here. Oh, sorry about that. I just saw it like disconnected. Water signs: Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. Faces. Hold on. Faces. Wait, hold on. What is this? Faces. What? It's a very weird message to come through. As a result of this soul retrieval, looking at people differently, and in turn people looking at you differently. It's like they keep coming back to faces, 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 faces. So I'm like, why the face in particular? Reclaiming this piece of yourself, I'm not going to say it's vital. It's like, I mean, it feels pretty vital. It feels pretty significant. But reclaiming this piece of yourself will actually help people to see you better. This feels like an important piece of you, is what I'm getting at. Yeah, because it's about your faith. It's about your belief, man. That's such a huge, powerful driver in how we exist, like in how we experience reality. You're reclaiming that, and that is massive. So it's not quantifiable, obviously, but it's like, it's a very important piece of you. I'm just going to say it like that. It's a very important piece of you. Reclaiming this piece of you is going to help people see who you really are, because that piece of you, you've been disconnected from it. It hasn't been present for people to see. It's almost like people haven't been able to see like that piece of your belief, that piece of your faith. And so a piece of like a core piece of who you are has kind of been missing even to other people. So you're like, I'm almost getting like physically you might actually change as a result of like reclaiming this piece of yourself. Like it might affect your physical vessel. People are going to be seeing you differently. It's also going to help you to see people more clearly as well too. It's like, because belief is part of our compass as well. It's part of our little like gauging compass system, our discernment system. So yeah, anyway, so the faces of people may be changing, yours and people around you. I actually feel like some of you might experience people being way more open and receptive to you. How do I want to say this? It's not like falling in love with you. It's like, that's not that. It's more like having a much deeper appreciation for you. Anything else for my water signs? Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. Nice. Nice. Elephant, breaking down walls and barriers and limitations. That's what I'm saying. It's like reclaiming this piece of you. It's opening up your world of relationships is what I keep getting. It's like, because more of you is back. More of you is here again, is present for people to experience. So in that way, it's like it is breaking down walls and barriers between you and other people because more of you is home. Oh, because more of you is home. Earthworm, new experiences, new faces. Maybe some of you guys are meeting some new people too. Maybe some of you guys are meeting some new people. But Earthworm speaks to like the 0 point. It speaks to, I'm in a new experience or a new way of being or a new circumstance, and it's uncomfortable. It'd be very uncomfortable here. I want to say it's really speaking to how new it is and how different it feels, more so than I'm uncomfortable with it. Because I actually don't think you're uncomfortable with it. I think it's more just like, it's trying on like a dress you've never put on before, right? It's like it's getting reacquainted with self is really what it is. That's all. It's getting reacquainted with self. Sea serpent, the sacral chakra. Sea serpent is how we creatively express ourselves. It also speaks to play and fun and obviously sexual energy. But yeah, I feel like this is allowing you to be more seen in who you actually are because you've reclaimed more of yourself and more of you is home within yourself. They're bringing up belief again. There's something about that belief that also allowed you to be more free, allowed you to have more fun is what I'm getting, allowed you to express yourself more effectively, allowed you to play more in your own sexual energy and creative energy is actually what I'm getting with that. So you're going to be feeling more connected to yourself in that way too. Oh, I like that. That's nice. Okay, let's see what else. Ooh. Oh. Anything else for my water signs? Huh. Yeah, relationships and people. So this is fascinating. We have stingray with tarantula and wolf. The tarantula in this deck speaks of tension. It's kind of like a Two of Wands energy. It speaks of kind of being at a crossroads. Stingray is like the King of Cups to me. This has come up a lot for the collective, especially when all that like manta ray energy come up for the collective as well, like the primordial waters coming up. But this is King of Cups. This is emotional and spiritual strength. You see how the chakra system is all lit up here. And then we have wolf. Wolf speaks to pack dynamics, tribal dynamics, you know, whether you're leading or following or just one of the many, right? But I feel like this is getting to that point where you could actually have deeper relationships and you could actually have more relationships. Yeah, I'm actually getting deeper and more. Like, yeah, deeper relationships and more relationships. This is opening you up to people. This is opening you up to tribe, where before it was really hard for you to do so. Or harder. I'll say harder. It was harder for you to do so because your belief, something about your belief wasn't there as much as it was before. And for some of you, this is a tribe that's rooted in the belief of that spirituality that you had lost, that star family that you had lost. For some, it's just belief in people. You understand what I'm saying? It's like whatever you believed in so strongly, or believe that you could get a wish fulfillment or your dreams could come true. It's that kind of belief. So spiritual faith, belief system, a wish, a hope, a dream, a relationship or kind of relationship. We're talking about that. And it was strong. Like I could feel it. It was like every fiber of my being is going towards believing in this, right? Like hardcore. And it wavered somewhere. Or you lost it because of a circumstance or an event, an experience. But anyway, this is you reclaiming that. Overall, we have Owl. High Priestess energy. This is, you know, it's psychic energies. It's intuition. It's being able to recognize what's going on here. I feel like you're definitely doing a soul retrieval, sort of shamanic kind of experience, whether you're getting help to do this or you're doing this for yourself. But Owl also comes out in this deck when we know that good things are coming. That good things are coming. I like it, water signs. Let's go ahead and pull some tarot cards here for you guys. Let's do the unicorns. Let's do the unicorns. Who doesn't want to believe in magical unicorns? Or believe? Who doesn't want to believe in magical unicorns? Hold on. Making space. All right. Any other messages or insights from my water signs? One more. Okay. Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. Let's see what we got out here. Oh! It's exactly what I was saying. Ace of Swords and the Star. Reclaiming your belief. It's making me happy. I'm like almost getting emotional. I'm getting kind of giddy for you. I'm also getting King of Wands energy. We'll see if the King of Wands comes out, but I'm getting this like courageous, courageous, passionate energy. But Ace of Swords with the Star. Yeah, it's coming back to belief. Literally. It's coming back to your ability to live. Whether it was in a particular dream of yours, a wish or hope of yours, or an entire belief system of yours, or it's your star family, right? It's like reclaiming that piece of you because it is you. Doing the harvest of the soul retrieval, right? Hold on, sorry guys. Oh, something on the wall. It also speaks to healing as well, which soul retrievals are, right? That's a form of healing for sure. It also is you getting very clear on what makes you happy by reclaiming your belief. That's like amazing. These two cards together, that's amazing. Six of Pentacles. This is give and take. This is giving and receiving with other people, from spirit, from the universe, etc., right? But it's the reciprocity. It's the opening of the valve back and forth, right? Not just giving, not just receiving. I like this because this is speaking to you being open. You being open to that belief again. Believing in certain things are possible, or certain things are for you, or certain things are real. But the Six of Pentacles implies there are other people at play here with facilitating this with you, for you, in this process with you. Whether it's friends or family or one person in particular. Oh God, hold on, sorry guys. Well, this is a soul retrieval. As a result of the soul retrieval, you could actually have an exchange with someone that might be associated with this loss of belief in the first place. And in that case, there is forgiveness here. The opportunity for forgiveness, the opportunity for healing, for closure will help cement the reclaiming of this piece of you. Oh, I just got the chill. Oh, it was like, oh, perk up. I just got the chills. Like, for some of you, this could be someone you haven't spoken to in years. I mean, years. Years. Yeah, you heard me, years. That needed to be said multiple times for some reason. Anyway, moving on. I love this so much because water signs, it feels like reclaiming that piece of you, you're suddenly just so open. And people are so ready to give and you're so ready to receive. It just feels so good. It feels like the cup overfloweth, right? That's what it feels like. Any other messages or insights for my water signs? Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. Eight of Cups. Okay, waters. Oh my God, that's so cute. The little crystal on the butt. Eight of Cups always leads to the 10. 8 always leads to the 10. And what are you leaving behind? All those freaking cups. Leaving behind the past, leaving behind the things that you don't need to take with you. The harvest of the soul retrieval. Right? Journeying to that version of you, that version of you, that place in that space and time, right? And looking at it and going, I'm going to take that piece of me back and I'm going to leave the rest of that there. That's what that's saying. That's what that's saying. I'm just so happy for you. I was very happy. I feel like you guys are like, oh, it's so crazy when I'm doing these readings, right? Because sometimes I can literally hear you guys. I feel like some guys are asking me, well, how do I do a soul retrieval? It doesn't need to be a fancy thing, okay? Can you have someone help you with a soul retrieval? Absolutely. But in my opinion, you can also do a soul retrieval by literally just sitting with yourself and literally taking time to go back to that place, like in your memories. So for example, let's say this is relating to a breakup. Maybe a breakup shattered your belief in people or shattered your belief in love or marriage or whatever. Revisit those memories. that still evoke strong emotions, right? That still evoke feelings of pain, of hurt, belief, love, and maybe you're too angry to feel the love yet. That's the other thing too about revisiting these memories to do this kind of work. It's like it might take a while. Sometimes it's not a fast thing. Sometimes it takes quite a few attempts or it takes a lot of self-work. But to do that kind of soul retrieval, recall those memories and relive those moments, right? Relive those moments. Remember who you were. Remember what you wanted. Remember what hurt you. And just recognize this didn't happen to me. This happened for me, right? See the bigger lesson as to why it even happened in the first place. See what it gave you. This is part of the harvest. This is how you retrieve that piece of yourself. See the benefit of those experiences you had and say, that is the gift of those experiences. I'm going to own that. I'm going to take that with me. I'm going to take the gift of that. And all the other shit wasn't personal. It wasn't done to me, right? I'm not a victim, whatever comes up for you. And take the gift and let it go. You might cry. And again, it might take a while. It might not be just a whole little one night process, and maybe you want to seek out a professional to do soul retrieval. I don't think it's always necessary to do that. I honestly really don't. Not for something that you can recall in this lifetime very easily. I think that's something anybody can do on their own, but that's what this Eight of Cups is. It's the soul retrieval harvest. I'm going to take that cup because that is the gift of that awful experience. So I'm going to take me back and I'm going to leave the rest of those cups standing there. I love you, water signs. And energy is crazy too, right? Because for those of you guys where there were other people involved in the loss of your belief in this present in that moment, when you do this, when you reclaim yourself, you're closing a door of energy. So even if other people moved on and like you didn't, for example, that was kind of kept open. And then you close it, and what happens? It rebounds. And suddenly that person might hit you up, or those people might suddenly be thinking about you because you energetically reclaimed yourself out of that period of time and space. Right? Right. Anyway, moving on. Hold on a second. These cards are very slippery. They're very cool, but they're very, very slippery. There we go. There we go. Water signs. I love you. You're ready. You are ready. Yeah, nice. Seven of Wands with the Four of Swords. This is a little bit of what I was picking up on in... Who went first? It was whoever went first. Oh, no, not fire. I think it was earth. Like the protecting the self. This is you in that process of soul retrieval. The Four of Swords is I'm going to take time out. I'm going to reflect. I'm going to sleep. I'm going to journey. This is the actual process, and this is you standing up for yourself, reclaiming yourself over whatever took place, whatever happened here, in your own bubble, in your own time, in your own space. So love seeing that. The Eight of Cups just represents the aftermath, the emotional aftermath. Well, this is the active work. Well, here, this is the healing and realization, right? This is the sword you're reflecting on in the Four of Swords down there. All right. On the bottom, Nine of Cups. The 8 goes to the 9, which will eventually go to the 10. This is you finding a lot more comfort and being at home within the self, feeling more emotionally taken care of and stable and happy and joyful in the present moment in the self. It's nice. It's a nice feeling. It's also that energy of wish fulfillment, the 9 of Cups and the Star, the minor to the major wish fulfillment. But this is wish fulfillment rooted in your belief. Rooted in your belief. And that 9 will eventually go to the 10. I'm curious what's underneath the 9. 3 of Pentacles. It feels like recollection is what I'm feeling with that. Like recollecting the self and then starting to build upon this new foundation of joy. This new foundation of more of you reclaimed in the self. And it could also indicate friendship. So 3 of Pentacles is my friendship card, or one of the friendship cards for me. Water signs. Okay, moving on to air. That was an awesome reading. You guys probably got the best reading of the week. I thought Earth signs was crazy. Yours was crazy too, in a good way. Okay. Ah! Knocking down water bottles over here. Okay. Air signs. Hi, air signs. Save the best for last. We'll see how your reading goes. Normally the last ones to go are the most intense, but we'll see. Or are they like the most going on? All right. Gemini, Libra, ooh, Aquarius. There's a lot going on with you, Aquarius, in a good way. You guys feel really good. You feel like you're electrified. Like you're all lit up, Aquas. Okay. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. All the air signs, I feel like you guys are experiencing this light up. Maybe it's a glow up. But something feels alive within you. But I keep getting it's like little orbs, like literally feeling electrified. Not electrocuted, electrified. Okay. Like something has you glowing, something has you lit up. Again, this could be a glow up situation. Or life just suddenly feels really good, or maybe there might be some changes coming up where you're like, damn, this is what I've been waiting for. It just, yeah, you feel lit up. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Just caught a glimpse of the Divine Feminine. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Oh, you are being electrified. Angelic assistance, divine guidance, and loving support. Look at the light coming out of that angel's hands. You are being electrified. Spirit's lighting you up. You could be getting upgrades at this time. You could be going through an activation at this time, but yeah, you're just like, you're lit up. You're lit up. Okay. So air signs got spirit on their booty, giving them energy, lighting them up. Anything else for my air signs? Gemini, you might have asked for this. Sorry, hold on. You might have asked for this. Some of you could have probably felt like you were struggling a little bit emotionally. I really want, yeah, there we go. There we go. Yeah, I'm really getting emotionally and maybe potentially depression. Some of you could feel like you were dealing with a lot of dark night of the soul kind of stuff, feeling really lost. And so some of you guys asked for help, and now it's here. It's here. It's help. They're helping. Yeah. Okay, so it's, you guys know how this is when you work with cards, and then sometimes you're like, I've never seen that card before. Or did that card actually exist before? Definitely getting that feeling with one of these cards. Like this is a card I've never seen before in this deck. Not to say it wasn't there, right? But just like, I definitely do not have a memory of this card ever. But anyway, 32, breaking down to 5. Power over difficulty. Reclaiming your power. Air signs, you were going through something difficult, and if you're still going through something difficult, you're literally getting angelic assistance. Angelic healings are a thing. Divine healings are a thing. I only spoke about it once on this channel, maybe a couple years ago. Back in, that was before I even moved to Long Beach, so actually this might have been 2018 still. No, maybe early 2019. I had a crazy experience where I definitely had some assisted healing, and it was crazy. Okay, I'm just gonna leave it there. I feel like I'm actually not supposed to share it in detail. I already did at one point, again, a couple years ago. Couldn't even tell you what video. But it was so crazy. I'll never forget it as long as I live. But anyway, you are getting extra support right now from Spirit. They're trying to help you in this time where you've been feeling like you've been struggling, or you've been feeling like powerless. I hate to say. Some of you have been feeling powerless, some of you have been feeling lost, but you are being literally lit up by the divine to help you through this. God, look at the illustration on this. Let's keep going. Air signs, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Some of you feel forgotten. Neglected, ignored. Some of you guys feel ignored. Mostly it's a powerless feeling. Then we have sacred gratitude, reverent appreciation, prayer. Again, I feel like you asked for help. You got 2 5s here as well, indicating changes, liberations, transformations, tower moments, right? Yeah, I mean, I'm going to start repeating myself, but it's just really clear to me. You've been in a dark period. You've been kind of in a rough period. You've been in a period of being kind of lost, feeling a little uncertain, maybe feeling a little powerless. And if this isn't you, this isn't you, right? But that whoever this reading is for, that's what I'm getting. And in that darkness, you've asked for help. You prayed. And it might even just been very unconscious, like even just hoping, okay, maybe things will get better. Maybe things are going to be fine. Maybe things are going to be okay. I'm just going to try to hang in there. But I really want to say you called in help, and help is here. You're not powerless. Even if you feel powerless, you're not powerless. We all go through that. It's the ebb and flow of things. Anything else for my air signs? On the bottom, we have opening the heart with 11, deep connections, and water blessings. This is surrendering to receiving help, surrendering to the heart, surrendering to your emotions, to your feelings, allowing for healing to take place, allowing yourself to also accept, right? To accept that there's going to be times where things are not okay, or things don't feel okay, and just to not attach to them, not hold on to them, just let them play out as they need to, and do what you can in the meantime to get through it. But this feels like a very deep healing to me. Yeah. Some of you guys have been going through a heart chakra opening, actually. And when that happens, that can be a little rough. Like when your heart opens like that, a lot of dense emotions come up and out that are attached to experiences that you've gone through and things you didn't even realize you were holding on to. Grief, anger, depression, and then you could go into a high of just like elation and bliss and then come smack dab down again. It can make you feel crazy. It can make you feel a little crazy. Some of you guys have been going through that. But let's go ahead and move on to the animals. My neighbors are so funny. They're always like, what is she doing? Like, I want to look, but I don't want to look. Because, like, I'm, like, right here at the window. And so sometimes they'll, like, sneak a peek, and they realize I can see them, and they're like... Anyway, humans are funny. Humans are funny. Air signs, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Ooh. One more. No, 2 more. This one really wanted to be shuffled for you guys. Okay. Who had the panther? Was it water signs? I think water signs had the panther. Anyway, panther with B. Panther is a catharsis. It's a release. It's a purge. It's a purge. And like I said, I was getting that it's like you're going through a rough time. You're going through like a heart chakra opening where there is a lot of these like denser energies, denser feelings and emotions trying to come out. Trying to come out. The B usually represents like rewards and gifts and blessings and abundance for hard work. And I feel like it represents like the gift of the purge, the gift of cleansing, the gift of release is I feel like what's coming through with that. Some of you guys feel like you've been losing. Some of you guys might have been going through some financial issues. I'm going to say struggles. Some financial struggles and challenges. I'm not going to say issues. Yeah. Some of you, that's the case, and it's been adding to the stress. It's been adding to these denser emotions. Like, I'm getting 5 of Pentacles. Everything's gonna be okay, is what I just heard. Unicorn. This is third eye energy, and it was coming along with the sacred gratitude. Like, it really wanted to stick on the sacred gratitude card. This is faith. This is trust. This is belief. This is knowing. The inner knowing of it's going to be okay, it's going to be okay, it's going to be okay. There's always something to be grateful for. Even if we're going through really rough times, and sometimes that helps. Like, actually, I think it really helps to just kind of stay centered and stay in your heart and to like stay in this place of being very grounded and feeling okay, is recognizing, okay, if I'm losing this, or this is waning out of my life, or this is going through a death process, or that's not working, or that's not working, or I'm stuck, or this, that, blah, 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 blah. There's always something you have in your life that is helping you. There's always something in your life that you could be grateful for is there. Like, do I still have food? Do I still have water? Do I get to wake up and have a coffee? Do I get to look at the sky? Do I get to go for a walk, right? Do I get to go to the creek? Like, whatever, right? There's always something to be grateful for. I feel like this is speaking to faith. Interesting, because water signs, faith was really strong message in that. Stick with the faith, stick with the inner knowing that you do have things that are going for you. You do have things that are taking care of you. You do have things that are going right. Practice gratitude for those things. It's also about shifting the energy of focus too. I'm looking up because I'm like getting information. I feel like some of you guys ask, like, what is she looking at? It's like I'm getting information. It's also about shifting the energy. When you focus on what you have, you can bring more energy in your life of have versus I don't have this, or this is gone, or this is gone, this is gone. You're just going to keep inviting the energy of things being gone, the energy of loss. But if you can stick to your focus on things that are present in your life that make you happy or make you feel fulfilled or nourished or taken care of or make you feel safe, you're going to invite more of that into your present life. And it's also just going to keep you calm too through times of chaos. All right. Let's keep going. Anything else for my air signs? Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Interesting. Starfish just came out on top of B. Remember what I was saying, like the energy of loss, like you're, needing to have a release or catharsis around what you think you're losing. It's almost like you view the things that are leaving your life as things that are wish fulfillment. Like you're losing what you've hoped for, or you're losing what you have worked really hard for. Like that's what I'm getting with this. The starfish to me card the starfish to me card to me is like the star card. It's this very attractive, alluring, pretty, all that glitters, like I want that kind of energy. That's what the starfish is. And then B, like I said, are usually rewards and abundance for hard work. That's what feels like it feels like you're angry about that. It feels like you're angry about these things in your life. And I think potentially because it's not working out, or they're leaving, or you feel like you don't have a grasp on them, or that, like you're losing that. Like you're losing your wish fulfillment. This could even be anger and pain that you've had over a loss that happened a while ago. It doesn't have to be present, doesn't have to be active. But that's what it is. Over losing what you really wanted or what you worked so hard for. But keep the faith. Keep the faith and be grateful for the things that you do have. Because even if this is gone, or what you're just getting rid of is the emotions of a loss, that makes room for really good things to come in, right? Overall, we have bear. This is a period of recovery. This is a period of healing. The bear to me is like a hibernation energy. Like we go into hibernation, we go into our bubbles to be held, to be comforted, to heal, to sleep, to regenerate, and then we come back out in spring, anew, cleansed, healed, clear. That's bear. Bear is also stamina and protection as well. But it does feel like to me you've been in a healing process, a heart chakra opening, a dark night of the soul, that kind of vibe. That's where you've been. And the bear is also indicating, yes, you have been in a period like that. But keep the faith, because you do have a lot of assistance in this process, or you have had a lot of assistance in this process. This deck also speaks to the bear, indicating that time of coming out of hibernation. Only you would know if you're actually coming out of hibernation or not, because I feel like you're all in different places. But yes, there's eventual end to hibernation and isolation and hermiting, right? All right, let's go and pull some other cards. God, this maybe it's the shirt. I'm like super itchy during this reading. Don't mind me. Don't mind. Yeah, let's pull some tarot cards. Let me use classic Rider-Waite here. Okay. Ooh. Air signs, Gemini, Aquarius. Yeah, I'm hearing let it go. That's what I'm hearing. I'm hearing let it go, let it go, let it go. It has that feeling too of like, oh, my best years are behind me. If you keep saying that, that's going to be the case, right? That's manifesting. I know it might feel that way, like the best years are behind me, or that the best time of my life is behind me, or the thing I worked so hard for is gone, or I haven't attained it, or whatever, or my dream relationship is gone, like that sort of thing. Doesn't have to be true. Keep the faith. Doesn't have to be true. It doesn't have to be true. I can definitely see there's anger there. There's anger that wants to come out. Okay. Any other messages or insights? Yeah. What did I tell you? Five of Pentacles. I knew the energy of loss was there. This is energy of loss. This is worries over money. This is feeling alone, isolated. I'm struggling and I'm all by myself and there's no one to help me and I'm in the dark. I want to reiterate this because I want to be very clear. This loss doesn't have to be something that is just happening now. It could have been something that has happened a while ago, but you've been holding on to this feeling of that thing has been lost, or I'm not going to get another shot at that thing, and I'm angry that I lost that thing or that opportunity. That's Five of Pentacles. Anything else for my air signs? Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. You're not powerless. I really want to say that you're not powerless. You're not helpless. Five of Pentacles can make us feel that way. I also want to say it's time to not be a victim anymore. Did you hear the cards that came out when I said that? Am I taking these two? No. Okay. So on the table we have Page of Cups in reverse. It's time to be honest with yourself. Time to be honest with yourself. There's nothing wrong with being angry or hurt or upset about losing something like that. Whether you feel like it's happening right now or it happened in the past, there's nothing wrong with being upset or angry about it. Shit happens. But if you're going to let it affect you to the point where you're going to be a victim or play victim, right? Like, poor me, this happened to me and I'm angry it happened to me. Take your power back, right? Take your power back by recognizing how you're feeling emotionally and where you're at and being like, no, I deserve to be happy. I deserve to have my hopes fulfilled, my wishes fulfilled. And life is unfair. What doesn't always happen, right? But it's like, there's nothing wrong with believing that you can, right? Instead of just saying, it's gone, woe is me. Take your power back, air signs. Actually, it's kind of what I said to, I think it was water signs, because they're doing a soul retrieval, right? Like that's their harvest, is the soul retrieval. Yeah. It didn't happen to you. Get out of that mindset. It didn't happen to you. It happened because it happened. Maybe it happened for you, but it didn't happen to you. That creates that feeling of powerlessness. Anything else for my air signs? Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Dun 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 dun. The Tower to me is indicating this realization, the shift, the change out of victim mode, out of mode of loss. Now, could it be over a Tower moment? Absolutely. But this is about you reclaiming your power and getting out of this energy, getting out of the Five of Pentacles. And literally the first card was angelic assistance. Spirit's helping you with this. They're giving you extra attention and extra support to help you out of this energy, help you out of this mindset. The Tower to me feels like it's indicating the shift. It's indicating the change. Anything else from woo? Two of Wands. It's time for a change. It's time for a shift. Choose a different way. Choose a different way that is not the five. Anything else for my air signs? Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Ooh, cards flying everywhere. Eight of Pentacles. Time to put in the focus. Time to put in the work to get out of this. That's what this is to me. Eight of Pentacles is forging. Whether you're doing work on yourself or you're putting your focus and attention on something to build it up, right? To progress it forward, to forge it, to mold it, to create it. It's time to get out of victim mode and do something about it. This could be purely work related as well because we do have two Pentacle cards out of 5 cards. Anything else for my air signs? Anything else for my air signs? Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Wow. Wow. So landing on the 8. 4 Pentacles and Strength in reverse. What did I say about that powerless feeling? Strength in reverse literally is the feeling of powerlessness. 4 Pentacles is a card of trying to hold on to your own sense of power, trying to control. This is what Spirit's asking you to shift and asking you to work on. You're not powerless. You're not powerless. If this is purely financial, there's a different way of going about your financial situation, and you just need to see it. But the only way you're going to see it is by believing that there is a way, that there is a solution. But being powerless is feeling powerless, telling yourself you can't do anything, telling yourself this happened to me, is just going to keep you stuck. So many Pentacles. Overall, we have 6 of Pentacles in reverse. Wow. With Judgment in reverse, there's a different way. I want to say actually they're encouraging you to ask for help. You already asked for help from Spirit, whether you realized it or not. Either way, they're here helping you, but this is physical help. This is help in the physical, like with other people, right? But not doing that is creating this Judgment in reverse energy. Like, hey, there's a different way. There's a different way for you. There's a different way. So it's interesting, all these different types of harvests, right? With all these different elements. Water signs is by far the most interesting because like their harvest was literally a soul retrieval, like a harvest of a version of themselves and through time and space. For you, the harvest is more like get out of victim mode. like it's not really a harvest. It's like get out of this. Get out of this. Well, actually, no. Okay, I take that back. Whatever was lost clearly mattered to you. Clearly mattered to you, right? Otherwise, you wouldn't feel so awful about it. So even examining like why it mattered to you so much, I think is important to getting out of this victim mode and to say like, this mattered to me because A, B, C, D, E, or whatever. And do those things even still matter to you, right? Of the reasons why you wanted that thing or why you were so upset that it left. Getting more clear on what actually matters to you, what's actually important to you, I think is something to take forward, right? And leave the victim mode in the past. Leave the victim, helpless, powerless mentality in the past. I gotta be honest, air signs, it has a little taste of martyrdom on it, just a smidgen, no judgment, just a smidgen. And with the Six of Pentacles in reverse, it's like, this feels like you've been very closed off to other people. Like you haven't allowed people to help you, or you haven't allowed yourself to receive help and assistance, but you've been staying in the Five of Pentacles. Sometimes the Six of Pentacles can also indicate selfishness. If that's something that landed you in the situation, only you would know, and obviously you would review that and realize maybe I shouldn't have been so selfish or stingy, right? But I feel like more so it's about not receiving help. And it's time to. Okay. All right. Alrighty. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I did. I always enjoy doing readings for you guys. And I hope it was very helpful. And I hope you guys have an amazing, epic week. The week we've all been waiting, one of the weeks we've all been waiting for. And I love you guys and take care. Don't forget to check out website, Patreon, Vimeo, all that stuff. And I'll see you very soon. Bye, guys.